Hello, everyone. Welcome here. Today, we're going to play some more Stacklands, which should be a good deal of fun. Last time, we had just mostly got our food production actually automated smoothly, where it was most of the time working. Yeah. Anyway. So, the next thing to do is get our guys together and decide. Yeah, we can't retrain soldiers. Okay. Wonder, can I use soldiers? No, okay. Okay, soldiers are purely soldiers. Well, we needed those to not die, so. Something... No, okay, that's fine, actually. Yeah, okay. Anyway. I need to stop distracting myself and actually see if we can get some stuff done. Let's get this stuff back over here in the corner. We're gonna need more landfill. Soon, TM. Have 10 robot workers, but no regular workers. That would be interesting to do. What do we need to make robot workers again? It's under automation, I think. You come here and type the same thing in chat so often you could be considered a bot? Nah. Factory, metal scraps, and an iron bar. Okay, so if we get iron up and running, we can crank out tons of robot workers very easily. And then for to actually supply or to house the robot workers, we need a robot station, which is 3 factory parts and 2 cement. Alright, well we need to get iron and copper running again. So let's focus on that first. How many workers do I have to work with? Not that many, actually. Let's go ahead and focus on turning these wind into wind turbines. Which would be useful. We do need, like, 4 power to run this system, I believe. Something like that. Okay. Also, I don't like these are out of sync, and I'm just going to ignore it. And actually, why is it this out of sync? Don't tell me that it doesn't remember where it is in the sequence when you save the game. Okay. That should work, I think. Now, we have a worker. We need, like, at least 3, preferably 4, plus power. And I said I was going to be making the wind turbines, which are factory parts and wind. We can make some factory parts for sure. We need more iron. Oh, I do have some iron bars left. Okay. Okay. I missed that old container of iron bars over there. So it's not quite as important we get the iron right away. It's still important, but... still important. Yeah, we need 4 energy to run that setup. Which we're not going to get just right away. Okay, what can we do military-wise? Is there anything we could make that's relatively cheap and strong and doesn't take up... We can make robot soldiers. Stuff like that. I wish that weather would appear anywhere else. Okay. The rain we'll go ahead and process into water right away. After we make another wind turbine. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Hello, Dread. We've got tons of plastic now. I need to remember that's a thing. Barracks, electric motor, educated worker. We do have a spare electric motor laying around. And I think there is an educated worker I can grab from somewhere, surely. Maybe not. Well, let's educate him then. Okay, we've got 2 free wind turbines available. Are all my workers tied up in... Okay, we have one in this factory. We don't need him there anymore. Because that factory's not working. We can hook these wind turbines to the apartment complex, and that would remove the water wheel, and that would free up somebody. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Now we've got an extra water pump we can go stick over there somewhere. The water wheel can be dumped down here until such time as we have a need for it, which it will come in handy later. Okay. We're gonna sell the merch because I don't need the happiness. I'm perfectly okay without it. Let's go ahead and build the radar. Barracks, 2 plastic, 2 electric motor for a fighter jet. Barracks, 3 electric motor. Okay, we need to get electric motors production going, but that won't happen until we have enough workers to run that, which we are actually getting together. We have 2 at least, so we can run one or the other. And when this guy's done, we can run iron mine and the smelter. We'll need 1 more to run the copper mine. We don't have the power to run it, mind you. But that's also a solvable issue. We could also pull people out of food production because we have massive amounts of that. And we don't really need more right now. Not sure how many days of food we have left, but it's a lot. I could also just build a third apartment. Actually, okay, here. What do we need for water treatment? 3 cement, 2 plastic, 1 educated worker. Okay, that's trivial. 2 plastic. 3 cement. Educated worker. Okay. So remember correctly, water treatment requires electricity, but it produces water. I think it requires electricity. I usually pair it with, I used to pair it with the water wheel. Okay. It requires 1 worker. Does not require energy. It has a bunch of sewer inputs. And it has a transport output that outputs water. The amount of water it generates is based on how much waste it's receiving. I don't remember if it has to have everything connected to run at max speed or not. Or, you know, to supply the water wheel. I'm going to hook it up to the academy for now. Oh, we do need to give it a worker. Congratulations, you got a fancy education at the academy so that you can run its sewer systems. I hope you're happy now. Okay, actually, I would like to run the water treatment plant for the apartments, not just the academy, and then we could get rid of the sewer system. Sell the old septic tank. I should keep the old septic tanks around for now, on the off chance that something goes horribly wrong and we need them. But anyway. I'm not sure when or if this will actually produce water. I assume it will sometime, but it'll probably do it too slowly to matter. Also process that rain. Get rid of it, please. Okay. Now, robot station. Factory parts, 2 cement. Where to put that metal bar? There it is. You work on that, please. Okay. Gonna find out if this is at all useful. And also we're gonna go ahead and train that worker because why not? Financial crisis. Don't care, I'm not buying packs anyway. Can smelt ores instantly. Okay, that's useful. And then wind. We need a factory part, I believe. That'll construct a robot facility, which we'll see if that's any good or not. I don't currently have a free worker laying around. Okay, this provides for 10 workers. It requires 1 high voltage input. Okay. I don't remember how many high voltage inputs you get from a what do I call it? A nuke plant, but you get multiple. Speaking of which, we need to buy nuclear stuff, which I think is, yeah, advanced automation. 270 monies. 38% chance of uranium deposit, which is what we're after. Okay. Well, I do happen to have available a way to make a lot of money. Why'd I buy Impressive Industry? Well, I got some electric motors. Those are handy. And metal scraps are good, I guess. I probably should buy a ton of Impressive Industry for that 3% chance at an undiscovered card. Also, let's sell off a bunch of our food. Okay, I have 2 cards too many. That's fine. Gonna sell off excess food. Now, we have another educated worker. Let's just store the lightning down there in case I need to smelt something quickly. Yeah, let's buy a few more of these Impressive Industries and hope we get the 3% card. Spy. Interesting. Looks like a goblin. He doesn't have housing. Well, let's build an apartment. Actually, let's upgrade one of our apartments to a luxury apartment. I don't remember what the difference is. I don't have 2 copper bars. I have 1 copper bar. Yeah, I don't have a copper bar container anywhere. Well, I can get a copper bar easily enough. $60 seconds. We have 75 seconds left in the day. That's not fast enough. I mean, we'll do it anyway. Because, of course we will. I need more copper bars. But also, I'm going to buy 1 thing of major metals. If we get copper out of this, we're going to make a... Oh, there's copper ore. Iron deposit. Iron ore I don't really care about. Metal scraps are always nice. Okay, that should get us the 2 copper bars we need. Then we can upgrade an apartment. Not sure what I want with the cat. I don't really want the cat, honestly. Okay, 2 copper bars, an apartment. We'll make a luxury apartment. See if it's any good. Okay. It needs power, which, shock and surprise, we have. And it needs sewer, which, oh look, we have that too. Otherwise, could Consume same amount of food, just houses more workers. Okay. There's no reason not to upgrade then. It does... Okay, the abnormal apartment needs energy, but doesn't seem to get unhappy if it doesn't have energy. Luxury apartment does get unhappy if it doesn't have energy. Okay, well that's not a problem because we have wind turbines. But that neatly houses our spy and the cat. Not sure what's up with the spy. It's probably not good. Can we use the spy like a worker? Doesn't seem like it. We can use the cat like a worker. The spy looks like a combat unit of some kind. Alright, now we buy advanced automation. Yeah, advanced automation. Can I educate the cat? Nope. I can put the cat to work in the water treatment plant, though. Okay. Cats work in water treatment, I suppose. That means we have 2 educated workers available for whatever. Copper bar, uranium deposit, plastic, energy splitter. Okay. Splits 1 high voltage into 4 low voltage. That'll be handy to keep laying around for when we start getting into playing around with high voltage stuff. The uranium deposit is what we were actually after, though. Let's go ahead and make a uranium mine. Okay. Disconnect the energy. You run that, please. Uranium does produce stuff for the landfill. Which we probably need to get a recycling center soon. 2 science. Okay, actually we need to get science. Laboratory. 3 copper bar, 3 plastic, 3 educated workers. Okay. We have a uranium mine available for when we need it. I need to have you guys work the smelter. And then I need another power source. Let's disconnect the water wheel because it's clearly not doing anything useful at all. I don't know if this has produced any water. Let's hook it up to that water container. Just in case. The water wheel can get stored over here by the energy splitter and the other crap that we're not actually using. And then let's see. Now, laboratory. Copper bar, plastic, educated worker. Okay, we have tons of plastic. That's no problem. Copper bar, we have the employees to run it. We don't have the power to run it. Do I have a place where I can easily grab some power without any downsides? No. Yes, actually I do. We don't need power for that factory anymore. Nobody's using it. Okay. . There we go. That should get us 2 more copper bars. And then we need 3 plastic. And 3 educated workers. Which we have 2 already in the smelter, I believe. Wind, rain, and a wildfire. Okay, well the wind is good. You work on processing that rain. The wildfire we'll just have to deal with when it happens. A fire is roaming around the city. Gravel pit, tree plantation. Okay, nothing terribly, horribly terrible got lit on fire. Let's put out the oil fire there. The gravel pit, I believe that takes care of all of our problems. Yep. Okay. Now. Oh, let's smelt that iron ore too. We might as well. It's nothing not good for anything else. Okay. I haven't seen any water pop out of the water treatment plant. I've been kind of trying to keep an eye on it. It just hasn't happened. Of course, the landfill's not operating. Or it wasn't operating. Now it is. So that might have had something to do with it. Anyway, you get down there. That I just didn't notice. Which is entirely plausible. Alright, 3 copper bars. 3 plastic. 3 educated workers. As soon as this guy's done, we'll pop him on there. There's a 3rd wind turbine. That's quite handy and useful. I'm going to spend most of our money making the board much larger. Okay. Now. There, let's get that over there so it's out of the way. You go over here with the export. We'll move the city proper over here. The city local wind farm can go there. The military district can go down here in this corner. Unused buildings can go over here in this corner. I think we have a little bit of card capacity, so we'll be okay there. I wish I could grab multiple cards and move them. Let's go ahead and move the landmarks over there by the rest of the city. Okay. That freed up a lot of space to use for fun activities. Could have actual districts where things are grouped. Also, this is kind of large, but anyway. Now, laboratory. Let's see how much power it requires. It requires a high voltage line. Okay, well, we're one input short of a high voltage line. Purely on wind turbines alone. We need an energy combiner. Yeah, we'll sell some more of this crap. And we'll take another advanced automation card, I think. Uranium deposits. We'll stash those. They're useful to have for later. Plastic is useful to have. Well, the reason I decided to hit another card is because A, I felt like it. And perhaps more importantly, B, I was kind of hoping we could just get a free energy combiner out of it. Alas, no such thing, so I'll have to craft one. It wasn't a very high chance, but... 1 cement, 1 metal scrap, 1 worker. It's not like it's an expensive item or anything. Okay. Yeah, there was 12 water in that. There's still 12 water in that. So the water treatment plant doesn't seem to be working. Which is interesting. Okay, combiner, metal scrap, cement. Boom. Boom. Energy combiner. Okay. We still need one more low voltage source though. I think. Wait. It only requires 3? Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yeah, because you could combine low voltages together and then run them into a splitter and have 4 out of your 3. But you could only do it once, so you couldn't chain it forever. I remember those shenanigans. Okay. Well, we have a working laboratory now. Alright. Well, that means that I should be using splitter combiner shenanigans over here. Because then I could run the city off 1 less wind turbine. Rain, sunshine, a pack sale. That's nice. Don't care about the pack sale. The sun's just 1 happiness, I suppose. We'll take that. Rain is free water. That's nice. Okay. Science. We need 3 science to build a nuclear plant. There was something else I needed that I wanted to make that required science too. Oh yeah, recycling center. 2 electric motor, 2 iron bar, 2 science. Not sure if that's a useful thing to have or not. Well, we might as well try it. So once we finish this science, we're going to pull everybody out of the laboratory. You go ahead and make that. There's 2 electric motors. We really need to run the smelting setup again. This is probably going to need to be powered and other bullshit. Yeah, okay. It's got a sewer output that we will hook to the water treatment plant. It needs power. I'm going to disconnect the landfill for now. And we'll move it down here to the unused area. Except it's not actually unused, it's just getting hooked to a septic tank down here. Probably going to end up selling that soon. Okay, but anyway. And we have a ready-made solution to our power problem over there. Namely, this energy combiner splitter substation system here. All right. We run the turbines into the substation. Boom. Oh, wait, it's high voltage that it needs. Okay, that's actually a problem. Damn it. I'm pretty sure you can't recombine. Well, let's test it. Because I don't remember the exact parameters of how much combining and recombining you can do. Yeah, no, it doesn't like that. Not too surprising at the end of the day. Oh, the water treatment plant is finally working. Okay, that'll solve our problem right there. Because I can go down here and grab the water wheel. Not sure why it took the water treatment plant so long to decide it wanted to function. But it's functioning now. Okay, and then energy. We hook it into the combiner, that runs the recycling center. And then this splitter powers the academy and the apartments. And it's also going to power the city hall. There. Let's grab a water out, charge the water wheel. And we need 2 workers in the recycling center. Well, we are going to need it eventually anyway. Boom. It's kind of brutal, not gonna lie. Tempted to make another luxury apartment though, and get a few more workers. But I was kind of hoping to get the robot station up and running and start producing robot workers. Anyway, you go process that rain, please. The water container does not deserve to be left over there right now. Let's just make sure this is going to keep working. It is not going to keep working. It finally kicked out a water and then it stops running. So apparently it needs to receive enough sewage over enough time to run constantly, and I don't have enough stuff feeding into it or something. What happens if I grab this landfill, move back over here? Okay, now it produces. So we need to have all the inputs filled or else it won't run constantly. Although, okay, it does produce every 30 seconds still. And it does require workers still. Because I had a dumb idea that we could maybe hook up a bunch of landfills that aren't doing anything to a water treatment plant and it would produce water constantly. Water pumps do that at the same speed with the same number of workers and with less messing around. Okay. Well, the recycling center doesn't actually matter yet. But it will matter. I am going to go ahead and get myself another worker. Because we do have space for a worker, or we did. And then we're going to take that wind turbine we just freed up. And we're going to use it to run the copper mine for a bit. And then we'll find some power from somewhere to run the smelter once we have some copper ore built up. And that will get us the copper to upgrade this other apartment to a luxury apartment as well. And that should get us 3 more workers worth of capacity. And if we get 3 more trained up workers, we should be able to do a lot more. Let's continue exporting food for money. All right. So we could upgrade to a different style of food now. Like bread 2000 is nice and all. We could make ready meals instead, which are grain and plastics at a factory. We do have a factory that produces plastic every 30 seconds, I believe. Let's experiment. We would need 2 workers to run the plastics line, but how much food does this actually provide? Okay. It takes like 40 seconds to package a meal, which is definitely slower. Which means it would throw everything off to some degree. But also the hydroponic farm produces 3 every 60. Yeah. Just how many expansion packs does Stacklands have by now? 2? I think just the 2. There's the Stacklands 2000, which is this one. Or, you know, this bit here. Okay, ready meal is double the amount of food. Also, how much extra value is that? Not actually that much. Okay. It would take way more people. I'd have to reset the lineup. I don't think it's worthwhile to make ready meals. Yeah. I don't think it'd be worthwhile. Not right now. Okay, I need you down here to run the smelter once I get another power unit. We can remove power from the lab. Hook it up to the smelter for now. Nobody's manning the lab anyway. I don't have an available worker, do I? Don't think so. Okay, we'll just have to grab the dude out of the copper mine once he's done here. You two run the smelter for a bit. That should get us the copper bars we will need. Those junctions are ministry routers? Kinda. The way the junctions work is the output any card that touches the junction to their outputs in sequence, so like a router does. Drought. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. Multiple units of rain. That'll keep our water up to snuff. No problem once we have somebody to work on that. Work correctly, drought only affects farms. Yep. Unfortunately, it hit at exactly the wrong instant. And now the farm is going to be out of sequence. Oh well, nothing I can do about it. Not a whole lot. Where'd that metal scrap come from? Okay. Whatever. Came from somewhere. Oh, did it come out of the recycling center? It must have. Alright, anyway. Yeah, there is some basic automation you can do with this game, using the red junctions and stuff. There's also a filter junction. But it's super fragile. So like right now, there's too much water here. And there's unlikely to be much I can do about it. Except just manually fix it when it breaks. We'll keep the water there because we'll likely need it. Yeah, the recycling center produces metal scraps occasionally. Okay. Well then, I'm going to need to make a container for that. 2 lumber, a metal scrap, and a worker. These guys are done working. Does not put any other solids. No. Okay, good. This is going to make my metal scrap situation way better, though. Okay. Beautiful. All right. The factory is short on water. The question is, does this water go to the factory? It should, hopefully. Yes, it does. Okay, good. Yeah, this is insanely complex because, well, it's not actually insanely complex. It's insanely complex compared to most things that you would do with automation in this game. Because the water pump produces water every 30 seconds. The hydroponics farm produces grain every 10 seconds. But after 3 grain, it needs to have a water added to it, and then that takes 30 seconds. And then the factory needs to have a water and grain supplied to it every 30 seconds. So you could just hook a water pump directly up to the factory, but then the hydroponic farm wouldn't provide the grain at the right speed. And you would need to get the water for the hydroponic farm from somewhere. So what ends up happening, or at least what I ended up doing, is I made this insanity, which is a little hard to read because of the way everything's spaced out. But every 4 water go to the hydroponic farm. The other 3 go to the factory. So half of the time a water will go to the factory, half the time it will go to the second junction. And the junction will send half of the water it receives to the hydroponic farm and the other half to the factory. And then grain from the hydroponic farm goes into a storage card. And every 10 seconds that storage card outputs to this junction. And the junction sends every 3rd card it receives onward to the factory, and the rest it sends back to storage. So this is super fragile, because if the timing on anything gets messed up, then the hydroponic farm can just sit there waiting for water that doesn't arrive for the longest time. Which it does sit there for some amount of time waiting for water anyway. It's supposed to. The water pump can end up sending water to the hydroponic farm when it doesn't need it instead of the factory, which does need it. If grain arrives at the factory with no water, it gets turned into a different product that we don't want. It's just kind of a big mess. It does kind of work sometimes, though. Okay, I think I got it back on sequence. Guess we'll find out. Alright, we have copper bars. What was I going to make with those? Luxury apartment was one thing I was going to make with some of them. And this landfill's got to go. I'm going to sell it. Okay, sewer. Actually, it doesn't have to go, because there was already a sewer connection available for it. Landfill's got to stay. Power, which we already have a connection for. Go ahead and hook that back up. Okay, we have room for 3 more workers now. I'm going to go hire at least 1. I don't need a ton of workers. And I want to try moving over to robot workers if I can. So let's try to avoid getting too many other workers. Okay, you need to be trained into a better quality worker. Which will take a whole day pretty much. That gives us 2 free spaces for workers if we're in an emergency. You go process that rain we got a while ago. I want to build now a nuclear power plant. So we need 3 science, 3 educated workers, 3 iron bars, 3 uranium. We do have the iron bars. Barely. We do not have the uranium, but we can get it. We can get the science. And we need an educated worker, which we're working on right now. Okay. I do need a power combiner, which is cement and a metal scrap. It's easy to make. And while we're sitting around waiting, where's that uranium mine I built? There it is. Okay, as soon as he finishes processing the rain, we'll put him in the uranium mine. Uranium does produce pollution. But that is what the recycling center is for. And the landfill, but the landfill is going to get ditched as soon as I have something else using up that. Let's move these deposits down here so I can get them out of the way. Uranium and some gravel. Put the gravel over there. Not sure if it always generates gravel. If it does, we'll have to do a little bit of automation to rig that up. Rain, sunshine, a festival. Okay, rain is free water, festival's free happiness, sunshine is also free happiness. Although we could make a solar panel. And I think I want to do that because I don't really want more happiness because that attracts nasties. The update with weapons for workers was an update that isn't a separately purchased DLC. I don't know. I did a run every time a DLC came out, and then now we're doing this one. Wait, does this produce 2 energy? It does. Okay, hell yeah. It does cost more than the wind turbines. I suppose that makes sense. That means we have a high voltage output right here between these two. If we could make a combiner, which, oh yeah, I was going to make a combiner, wasn't I? Let's do that. Okay, there's the 3 uranium we need. We actually need more uranium than that because I'm going to want to run the system for a bit. But I don't want much more uranium than that because the recycling center's got to deal with it. Although actually, the recycling center can probably deal with a lot. It has more than 10 pollution in landfill, it says. Well, it's not a landfill. But we do lose happiness if it's got a ton of pollution in it. But the uranium produces pollution at the end of the moon. So I think we're okay just having a bunch of uranium on hand. Not too much, though. Alright, well, I need you two to come over here and work at the laboratory. Let's go ahead and hook up the high voltage. Why didn't the pollution go to the energy recycling center? I don't know. Something broke. Okay, laboratory. That'll work. I'm going to go ahead and sell the merch. If we keep that in our city, we get more happiness. I'm fine with people being neutral, so we just won't do that. Let's see, I need 3 science to make the nuke plant. Okay. 3 uranium. Let's put the gravel in the gravel container. 3 iron bars. Which we need more iron bars. 3 science. And then we grab the 3 workers out of the laboratory and stuff them on there when the time comes. Yeah, there's a fun little trick you can do. For some reason, the energy combiner takes 3 power lines and combines them into 1 high voltage line. And the energy splitter takes 1 high voltage line and converts it into 4 power lines. However, you can't put a combiner onto the output of a splitter. So you can take 3 power and turn it into 4 power, but you can't keep repeating that to keep getting more and more and more free power. Unfortunately. We are getting a good amount of metal scraps out of the recycling center, so that was worth doing. It is holding 2 of our workers hostage, but free metal scraps and dealing with pollution without me having to worry too much about it. Okay, 1 more science and we've got the uranium plant on the way. Or not uranium, but nuclear power plant, whatever. I don't remember if that needs a dedicated uranium mine to run or how many workers it requires, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, this seems to be working fine. Food production's fragile, but as long as I don't look at it, it doesn't seem to break. Okay, we've got our 3 science. Constructing a nuclear plant. Which should give us all the power we will ever need. If I remember correctly, it has 3 high voltage outputs. No, it's more than that. It's got 5 high voltage outputs. Takes 3 workers. Okay. Well, that's our energy problem solved forever. If we had 3 workers to run it. Where is that robot station? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hook the robot station here to the high voltage output of that solar panel and wind turbine. The laboratory can get parked off to the side somewhere. And I'm going to start getting some robot workers, which we need factory, metal bar, metal scrap. Okay. So that means we need to start getting the iron and copper mines back up and running, which requires 4 power, which we have 3 power right here, but there's an easy way to turn 3 power into 4 power. as I just discussed. So we need to make a splitter and a combiner. Okay, splitter is cement, copper bar. Combiner is cement, metal scrap. So we'll go ahead and make 2 cement. We've got a copper bar on hand already. And then there's a metal scrap over here somewhere. Not there. That's our food supply. Cement, metal scrap, cement, copper. Get a worker up here. We don't have enough workers to run the whole setup. We need 4. We only have 3. That's fine. Our first robot worker can be put to work in the mines. More rain and a crashed UFO. Oh, let's put a worker to work on it. Alright. Let's go ahead and wire this up. 3 wind turbines into a combiner to get a high voltage line to a splitter, get 4 normal lines. 1 to the iron mine, 2 to the smelter, 1 to the copper mine. Boom. Now we're just 4 workers? Yeah, 4 workers away from having all the smelting we could ever want. For now, as soon as the crashed UFO is done processing, we will get this worker into the smelter and get it running. Okay, UFO gives us some plastic. Some uranium. And some more plastic. Okay, not all that useful, really. Yeah. We can produce 10 workers for this robot station. We're going to crank a bunch of them out. Which does mean I need to tear this down. Our plastic production can be turned off for now. Because we're going to need this factory for a bit. Okay. I don't have any iron bars left. Which means while we wait for the copper mine to run, let's run the iron mine. Because we do need a little bit of iron so that we can build our first worker. Okay. Because the mines run at half the speed the smelter does. Oh, I could grab somebody out of the gravel pit or the tree plantation. We do have 90-something lumber. We really do not need to run the tree plantation any longer. Same with the gravel pit. We have 70-something gravel. I don't know why I just didn't consider that those were possibilities. Okay, well the good news is now we have a worker for this factory. The less good news is that we're going to need to get power from somewhere to run this. I don't think we have any free power sources available. Okay. I could get one off the water wheel. No, I couldn't, because that's being used for high voltage power. We're already doing about as much transformer shenanigans as we can, so that's not workable. We could run the nuclear... Well, no, we don't have the workers to run the nuclear plant. Okay, we're going to have to shut one of the mines off. Okay, storage container. What do I need to make that? Not resources, it's under automation. 2 lumber, a metal scrap. Okay. I need a copper bar. And a uranium storage container would be nice. We can grab the guy out of the factory here because he's not doing anything right now because it's not powered. Hello, Soup Stalker. Just gonna straight up retire the gravel pit because the uranium mine produces gravel. And we're going to be running that anyway. Oh, I need a filter junction. 2 cement and a gravel. Okay. Gravel. 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 Water. Water. Oh, I only need 2 water. Okay, cement 1, cement 2. Let's get this nuclear power plant out of the way. We'll need that later. Cement, cement, gravel, worker. Okay, that gravel goes in there. Don't remember what I made. Oh yeah, this is for uranium. Okay, filter junction. Drag a card on top to set filter to output the filtered card to the top road, others to the bottom. Okay. That'll do. I should make another one so we can hook these up properly to the smelter instead of just letting it do whatever it feels like. It wasn't expensive. Two cement and a gravel. Okay. Why are you like this? It's definitely out of sync again. I really wish there was a way you could connect 2 junctions together and say, like, don't let a card proceed until there's a card on both of them. Or something similar to that. Basically, there needs to be a little bit, some kind of sequencing so that you can hold things up until the sequence is correct. Okay, anyway. Got another filter junction. Let's go ahead and make an iron bar junction. Boom. Iron to the top, copper to the bottom. There we go. Not that this is a big deal, but it'll make sure everything stays nice and smooth. Now, we've got plenty of iron bars. Not plenty, but I'm going to turn off the copper mine. Lightning, sunshine's really good actually. Goes sunshine. Damn it. Get back over there. There we go. Sun plus plastic plus worker gives us solar. The earthquake is going to be really annoying. Let's grab extra food. Because earthquake means that we need to repair buildings with money. So I need cash. We'll worry about that in a minute though. Anyway, solar panel, hell yeah. Let's hook that splitter back up to that. And then you can run the mines and the factory for here. For now, get the worker back in the factory, get it producing our first robot. Okay. That should take care of that problem, I believe. Lovely. Now. Worker made of metal doesn't need food. -1 if it doesn't have housing, but that's what this robot station's for. We are going to crank out a ton of these guys, and they're going to do all the menial jobs. So for now, let us assign one to the hydroponics farm. Because nobody's running that anyway right now. Or, you know, it's not actually functioning right now. It's waiting for water. Which is normal and fine. It should be doing that. That frees up an educated worker that we can use for something. Okay. Oh yeah. I need to remember keep that factory going, making more workers or more robots. And then the second one is going to go into the water pump. We're going to wait until it produces a water. Boom. And you can run the water pump. That way there'll be a minimum disruption. This guy's a normal worker. I am not going to retrain him because we're going to get rid of our workers soon. Maybe. Well, they'll retire anyway. And I don't, not like I need more educated workers either. I have plenty. Okay. You can go work on the iron mine. Okay. You can go work on the copper mine as soon as it finishes. The robots yearn for the mines. Okay. And we have one last robot worker who I'm actually going to assign to this factory. We can make 5 more. Let's grab 5 more metal scraps. Let's queue a couple more. Let's get some educated workers at the nuke plant. Okay, how much power does this thing produce, or how long does it take? 30 seconds to generate energy. Or it generates energy for 30 seconds from 1 uranium. The uranium mine generates uranium every 30 seconds. Okay. So we can run this full time off 1 uranium mine. Which means we disconnect that. Connect that, and boom. We have infinite free power. Now, I'm going to assign robots to that mine in a bit, and to the power plant. I think that's where the next 5 are going to go, is to this complex. And also... this does have a power hookup, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. We need to do a splitter, combiner, splitter, shenanigan thingy up there to get some power out. I don't have any extra combiners or splitters laying around, do I? I don't think so. Okay. We need to make more robot stations, too. Three factory parts, 2 cement. Okay, they're cheap as hell. It's just they require high voltage to run, which... oh, look! We have all the high voltage you could ever want now. So that's not a problem. Okay. Let's get... let's see, these are cement? Okay. Another thing I kind of wish you could do is set conditions on things. Like, output only if a certain condition is true. Okay, the gravel pit and the tree plantation are both retired. Sort of. Actually, the gravel pit we can put up here by the uranium mine and hook it up. It just doesn't have a worker. That's fine. The robot station, we're just going to leave alone for now. But I probably should hook that to the high voltage from the nuke plant. Once we have it all fully staffed with workers. What was the other thing that I was going... oh yes, we're making the combiners. Okay. I don't have any free workers right now, do I? No. Got a metal scrap, a copper bar, a metal scrap, a copper bar, gravel, water, Okay. We need these robot workers. cement, metal scrap, cement, copper, cement, metal scrap, cement, copper. Start cranking out the transformers we need. Other robot worker. I'm not sure what we're going to do with him yet. I mean, eventually he's going to go work over there, but... here. Help your buddy out with making the combiners and stuff. Okay. So... we don't actually need a combiner over here. We do need a splitter. I'm going to put that right there. The top high voltage line runs into the splitter. That runs to the uranium mine. And then we have 3 low voltage lines available. Now, if I remember correctly, let's see if this works. You can do this. Split, combine, split, and then you get an extra that you can then hook into another combiner. I need to test this though. And what do I have that takes a high voltage that's not being used? Laboratory. Okay, nuclear power's off because I done goofed. If I manually juice it, that should fix the problem. Okay, that does work. I thought it did. But then you can't split it again, I don't think. I guess we'll figure it out in a second here. We need more combiners and splitters. Okay, you work on that rain pile. Let's grab some metal scraps. Let's grab some gravel. Grab some water. Make a bunch of cement. Okay, we've got a combiner. That's a combiner, okay. I need another splitter. We do need more combiners than splitters. One more at least. Okay. Need more copper bars. Now, let's disconnect that. Sunshine, wind. Okay, we don't need to use the sunshine for anything fancy. The wind we can just store off to the side for now. We've got industrial power sources. We don't need non-industrial. Okay, so I was going to try splitting this again. And see if that gives us a usable power source. It does, okay. But you can't combine it again. No. Okay, so this gives us a functional high voltage, I remember now. Which does mean we need to run Oh, let me think for a second. Okay, we can run a combiner off of this and get a functional high voltage, which we can then split out into 4 later. Feed one back into that. Okay, there's second high voltage. I need 2 more splitters and 3 more combiners. 2 more splitters and 3 more combiners. Damn it, don't grab the water container, grab the water here. Let's swap back to default view, so. There we go, you start making those, please. Okay. That'll do. Let's put the oil rig back down where it belongs. Keep those guys working. Need another splitter. Another combiner. I really like that this exploit exists. Because it makes high voltage energy management much more interesting. Instead of just having a single card, you... Okay, actually, I do not like the way I wired this. Okay, the top 3 run into that combiner. You run to there. You run to there. You 2 go down to there. Okay. And now... I don't like the way I spaced all this out. We have yet another splitter. I screwed this up again by turning off the uranium mine. Oops. And I don't have uranium to fix it with, which means I need an external power source. Oh no. Let's just run the uranium off external power for a bit. Okay. Splitter, combiner, splitter. Need another combiner. Or 2. Okay. I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to leave the solar panel here. We're going to run the uranium mine off the solar panel, and then we're going to use the other output of the solar panel to be the 3rd input for one of the combiners over here. so that we can run a full... I need combiners. Okay. Wait. I almost made the wrong thing. Not that it was a wrong thing, that would have been a big deal. Okay, so we got the splitters we're going to need eventually. We'll just store them over there. Cement, metal scraps, cement, metal scraps. We gained some happiness. Don't care. But anyway, this way the uranium mine will never shut down if I do something wonky with the nuclear plant. And even if it does, it'll still self-start because the solar panel will be running the mine. It turns out running your system purely off of its own power is a bad idea, which is why they don't do it in real life. Okay, and these two run to this combiner. And then the solar panel runs to that combiner, and boom, we have, off a single nuclear plant and a single solar panel, 7 high voltage lines. Instead of 5 high voltage and 2 low voltage. 7 of them. Okay. 1 cement, 2 iron bar. I don't think you can run high voltage lines off an energy pylon. I don't remember. Let's make one just to... It's kind of expensive with 2 iron bars. Okay, anyway. But I do want to start phasing out wind turbines. Because screw them. Nobody likes wind turbines. They're too unreliable. Okay, electric pylon. Yeah, they're purely for low voltage. We don't care about low voltage. I do want a splitter over here, because we are going to turn that off. Okay, it's a long way to run a cable. Boom. Okay. There's a free combiner. 3 wind turbines we're not using for anything. I kind of wish I could stack these so I could move them more easily. We'll maybe build a wind farm or something over here. No, I can't connect that to that. Okay, the water wheel. We'll let that run the recycling center for now. The food will continue to run off a wind turbine because that's fine. DM. Okay. Let's disconnect that as well. And we'll run our iron production facility, or our metal production facility, off that. And then the robot station is also going to be run off high voltage. We'll run it off the bottom high voltage though. The lab can be run off high voltage. We'll run a high voltage line over here to run the oil rig and this factory. Okay. Look at all those wind turbines we can retire. I could just straight up sell them if I wanted. There's no real need to, though, so we'll just pile them down there in the corner with the rest of the crap we don't need. Okay. Got a bunch of combiners. If we somehow need more high voltage, we can build another nuke plant and build another whole one of these messes. I don't think we're going to need to just right away, though. Alright. Also, we'll have a small disruption in power, but I'm going to put robot workers in the uranium mine. Okay. Beautiful. Let's put our wind down there for now. Beautiful. Oh. Next conflict will happen at the end of Moon 96. Okay. Well, we have 2 soldiers and a spy. Hopefully that's enough. If not, I guess we can do some quick emergency training. I should build a barracks just in case. 2 cement, iron bar. Okay, that's easy. Alright. Let's put the metal scrap back over there where the metal scrap goes. I should get the oil rig running again. It's not like we don't have the power, so let's put these workers at it. 2 cement, an iron bar. Okay. Wait, how much more worker capacity do I have? 3 more robot worker capacity. Two bits of sun and a drought. Okay, drought's not a big deal. It will disrupt our hydroponic farm production by a little bit. That's fixable. Okay, let's sell that grain. Probably shouldn't have done that, because we're going to get an extra water, and oh well. I can solve that problem. The sunshine is +2 happiness. We'll deal with that. At the end of this moon, we're getting attacked. We've got a barracks. We'll put it down here in the military sector. I probably should have the radar station somewhere where I can actually see it, so we'll put it over there. I don't look down that corner much. Okay, robot worker, back to your factory. queue up the 3 more robot workers we can currently support. Good night, Colo. Robot station, 3 factory parts, 2 cement. That's cheap. Oh, I'm out of water. Okay. Let's do some reconfiguring over here. I'm going to put the water into the storage container, and then we're not going to use the water wheel here anymore. We're going to run a high voltage line. Specifically, we're going to run this high voltage line, and that high voltage line can go to the housing. Okay. The water wheel can be retired. The combiner can go over here on this pile of other combiners that are waiting for future need. That'll probably never come. Unless I want to turn all these into high voltage for some reason. Which I guess there's no reason why I couldn't. Except that I don't want to. Group of goblins. Where are they at? Not here yet. We just have the card that announces that there's goblins coming. Okay. I have 3 robot workers. I think this is enough to run the nuke plant. Yes. So, we need to wait until the uranium mine is just about to pop. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 0.1 seconds left. There will be a very tiny length of time in which there's no power. Which actually will, unfortunately, reset all this stuff over here. Oh, maybe it won't. Okay. Apparently if the power disruption is small enough, it doesn't actually shut anything off. So we cut the power over perfectly. That is awesome. Because now, this is entirely run by robots. Who are powering themselves. Forever. As long as the buildings don't break down, they will be fine. Okay. Now, goblins meet soldiers. I'm really not sure what's up with that spy, but he seems very slightly better than a normal soldier. He's just an upgraded soldier, as far as I can tell. But anyway. We do have 1 high voltage available. And of course we've got all the renewable energy down here that we could use for whatever. And we've got a bunch of workers. Okay, so we need to get another robot station done. 3 factory parts, 2 cement. Oh yeah, that's what I was working on over here. 3 factory parts. I was going to... Oh yes, that's right. Damn it, stop grabbing that. That's what prompted me to make all the changes over here, because I needed water. And so I decided the water treatment plant would be our water supply from now on. Instead of self-powering itself. Alright, I'll stop powering the landfill. Oops, accidentally grabbed a pollution card. The landfill seems to be staying ahead of the pollution pretty well, and it's giving us free metal scraps, so I'm okay with that. Factory parts, cement. Grab a worker. Boom, that gets to the robot center. That will use up the last of our high voltage, though. Go ahead and station the workers here at the laboratory. Wait. Thought I hooked it to there. Okay. Now, we've got 10 more worker space. Which means we need to make 10 more robot workers. Let's go ahead and interleave these. So we don't need to manually interleave them. We can do it the easy way. Storage container, 2 lumber and a metal scrap. We'll make a dedicated... I need a worker. I don't have a worker. Well, I do have a worker. You. Go make this. Okay, so this iron bar container contains just 10 iron bars. That's it. And then this one's going to contain just 10 metal scraps. These are dedicated just for feeding this in the right ratio inputs. Let's hook that up, let it run for a second, hook that up, and then that should pop an iron bar, pop a metal scrap, pop an iron bar, pop a metal scrap, and so on. And I probably should have done it the other way, then there'd be 0 chance of accidentally producing a more metal scrap. But realistically not an issue. Okay, radar station's blinking again. Next conflict will happen at the end of Moon 101. That's a little ways off. Okay. Getting a good amount of science. I don't know if I need it for anything, but we'll just let it stack up. I should check to see if I can store science in a container. That'd be amusing if nothing else. Alright. Yeah, I'm kind of intending to get rid of the workers because the only quest objective that I haven't completed is no workers. Most of these were completed on a previous run. But okay. Sunshine, lightning, and a pack sale. Don't care about the pack sale because we don't need any packs. Lightning, sure, whatever. We'll pile it up on an existing lightning. I'm probably never going to use it. Sunshine, I could use to make more power. We'll just use it for happiness instead. Nobody cares about it. Okay, we've got a bunch of robot workers, which means we need to run around and check all the normal workers and remove them. Okay, you 3 can go make science. Boom. Where else do I have normal workers? I don't remember if the smelter was ever robotified or not. This is all robot. This was all robot, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know about the factory itself. Nope, it was not robot. Okay, food production is now totally robotic. The recycling center is not robotic. Now it is. Water treatment was a cat. Okay. Let's check the smelter. The smelter is not robots. Okay, the next two robots will go to the smelter then. I think that might be... Okay, we have 16 workers on the board somewhere. 3, 9, 11, 12 with the cat. There's 2 unaccounted for. Because there's 2 in the smelter. And then I don't know where the other 2 are. Gravel pit doesn't have anyone. Uranium mines robots. Nuclear power plant's all robots. This factory was just made a robot. This water pump's a robot. The hydroponic farm was a robot, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there's half of the workers in the place. These guys plus the cat. And then we have the 2 in the industrial smelter yet. The mines are both robots. Oh no, we don't. That is everybody, because we have 2 free housing space. I forgot. Or I didn't notice. Okay, so this is all the workers in the whole place. All right. Well then. Obviously, we need more robots. Let's build another nuclear power plant. Which means we need another nuclear deposit, which we have right there, or uranium mine. We will grab... We'll disconnect those. Can I store science in a container? Yes, I can. Okay, connect you to that. That gives us a free container we can use for something somewhere at some point. I need to build more factories eventually. Goblin conflict. Oh, that's fine. We'll put them down here in the military sector. Maybe we'll have workers fight him. That might be funny. Which I don't know what would happen if workers got a hold of... Goblins got a hold of the workers. Let's find out with the basic workers. They don't have health, so maybe they just straight up die. It might tank your happiness. Guess we'll find out. I don't think workers care about happiness. Also, game. While you freeze. I do believe... Oh, wait. There we go. I was going to say Stacklands had crashed, but nope, it came back when I tabbed out and back in. That's weird. Never had that happen before. Alright, anyway. Enough screwing around. Uranium mine. For the uranium mine, we need to make a factory part. I am going to go ahead and make a bunch of factory parts. And we'll put them in a storage container or something. We'll grab the worker out of this so he can come over here and build things. And then... okay, a factory part, plus a worker. Then we need a filter junction, which is 2 cement and a gravel. Okay. Well, they ignored the workers. Okay. Workers are just fine. I'm going to go ahead and convert these guys into barracks. Okay, filter junction. I did not actually make it. I made the materials for it. Go ahead and make that. So yeah, the filter junction is basically just, it is a sorter. I need 2 more workers for this. We are going to use human workers to run this for now. Enough to get a little bit of uranium out of the system. Let's just hook it up to a wind turbine and produce a little bit of uranium. So I don't have any left laying around. I'm going to train these 2 basic workers into soldiers because I don't care. We are going to want better troops at some point. But for now, it'll do. Okay, filter junction. I need a uranium to set this. Boom. And then we hook this up to that. The top one will go to the power plant. The bottom one will go to the last remaining empty spot on that container. Okay. Now, let's get these wind turbines out of the way for now. That one's working temporarily. Okay. Tree plantation, lumber container, that can go just off somewhere. I don't care where. Out of the way, TM. Alright. Let's stack up all of our energy combiners. We're going to need 7 of these. And then we're going to need a bunch of splitters. Okay, how many more combiners do I need? Yeah. Well, actually, wait a second. It's not quite that simple. If I disconnect this solar panel and connect it up to the mine, that's, I think, what I'm going to do. Okay, this energy pylon's worthless. I built it just because I couldn't remember how it worked. It's for low voltage. We don't care about low voltage. It's much better just to build a high voltage and run it that way. Okay. Yeah, we need a bunch of uranium, so we'll let the uranium mine run for a while. Quest completed. Have 10 robot workers, but no normal workers. What? Oh! It didn't matter if they were normal workers. Or it didn't matter if they were soldiers. Okay, that's fine. But also educated workers don't count versus normal workers. Okay, so that's completed. We don't actually have to get rid of those guys. We just had to train everybody into educated or soldiers, which we did. Alright, I need 3 at least uranium. That doesn't mean I've completed all the quests for this DLC, which I suppose is nice. Okay, energy. Nuclear power plant. 3 iron bar, 3 uranium, 3 science, 3 educated workers. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, 1 more uranium and we can build the uranium power plant. Then we will have to rearrange our power a little bit. The energy from there, okay. That's fine. Nuclear. That'll go over here. The gravel container's fine where it's at. The uranium mine is going to go right over here. The uranium junction will go right there. The uranium will be used to jumpstart the nuclear plant. Boom. Okay. Sunshine, wind, and a crashed UFO. We'll process the crashed UFO down here. The wind can go down here where it'll never be used. The sunshine can be turned into happiness. I might end up selling some of this uranium probably. I'm going to put educated workers into the nuclear plant. We'll get robots to replace them later. Okay. Energy. Boom. Let's go ahead and prime that. And then you get disconnected, you get connected. Boom. We now have another source of high voltage beyond what we had before. This gets disconnected. Solar panel gets hooked to the uranium mines. So the solar panel runs both uranium mines now. Gravel production just kind of hangs out here because gravel's being produced by the uranium mines. The gravel pit is basically retired, but it's still there just in case. Alright, lovely. Now, I need more splitters. Splitters are... Need 4 more splitters. I think? Yeah. Okay, and splitters are made with copper. Okay. Let me just double check. It is cement, right? Yes, it is cement. Okay. Okay. Grab another water. Lovely. I'm going to move both of these robot stations down, and we're eventually going to have one nuclear plant that does nothing but run robot stations, probably. because that sounds funny. But we'll see if we get that far. Got an electric motor out of the crashed UFO. Some plastic, which can go over here in the plastic storage. I do have enough workers, I can hook this back up and start producing plastic again. Oh wait, I need to actually make these splitters instead of not paying attention. Let's get him working on that. Let's actually get the rest of these workers working on it too. Okay. Now. Start wiring this up again. Here. Got all these splitters over here where I can reach them. Okay. I need at least one more combiner. 2 more combiners, looks like. And then we'll have a spare one just hanging out. Okay. We can hook it to a solar panel. To give it just that little bit extra. Yeah, okay. 2 more combiners. Combiners are cheap. They use metal scraps instead of copper. Which metal scraps are a lot more common. Not that it really matters, because we have vast quantities of both. But anyway. Okay, gravel, gravel. Our water supply is coming along pretty nicely. Alright, anyway. Cement, metal scrap, cement, metal scrap. Boom. That should be the 2 combiners we need. That is a lot of high voltage power. Way more than we need. Okay. Oh, we need another combiner yet. If we're going to do this plan. With the solar panel. Okay. Also, I want to move all this a little closer together. Okay. Yet another combiner. For that, we need a gravel. Okay, let's get the robot worker back at his job in the factory. Oh, I need to make storage containers again. If I want to do this the fast way. We should go ahead and sell some more bread. Alright, and we got an invasion coming in at 107. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that when it arrives. Yeah. Need another robot station. 3 factory parts, 2 cement. I should have the factory parts either completely on hand or mostly on hand. Yeah, okay. That'll do. That's 10 workers right there. Okay, a cement, a metal scrap, a worker, 2 cement, 3 parts, a worker. Okay, that gets us to our last energy combiner we need for the massive mega plant. That is a lot of high voltage power. Okay, I am unreasonably happy about how much power we have right now. I'm going to move this robot station down to the bottom. And we're going to start re-hooking it up. I don't know why I'm stacking these. Each one has its own dedicated high voltage line, so. Okay, now we have enough capacity to do another set of robots. So, I could do the same thing we did last time and semi-automate it, but I'm going to do it the slightly faster way. Although definitely not the better way for the long term. Okay, that's going to produce a lot of workers. Another whole 10. 5 of which are going to take over jobs here at the uranium mine and the nuclear power plant. And the other 5 of which we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. For now, let's get some more factory parts going. Factory part crafting is a little bit. It doesn't require workers. Okay, that should give us a good amount of factory parts, which we can then use to make factories. Pollution seems to be fine. Let's grab 5 of our workers, get them over here. Let's wait until the uranium mine is about... Actually, just after it pops. Okay. We need to wait to just before... Okay. Just before the uranium mine pops. We fill the power plant. And the uranium mine pops. And that gets the power plant going. And then we remove the workers and put them back in the uranium mine. Or you put robots in the uranium mine. Which does set the uranium mine back a little tiny bit, but it shouldn't matter because it will cut over basically instantly. And also the uranium mine doesn't depend on the uranium plant for, or the nuclear plant for power anyway. So it's fine. Okay. Now, all work except that the water treatment plant is being done by robots. Okay. What do I need to make a factory again? I think it's just 2, or is it 3 factory parts? 2 factory parts and a worker. Alright. Go ahead and make a couple factories. You are going to be making plastics. I don't remember how long that takes, but we might want an oil rig extra. Or we might need an oil rig extra. Okay, you go into there. Energy. You power that factory. What all is this thing? Oh, it's powering that factory too. Okay. Whatever. Don't care. It's like what? 30 seconds or something? Yeah, 30 seconds to produce oil. Looks like it's 30 seconds to extract oil. So I just need to set this up to run properly. This is kind of a pain in the butt. Because the oil container outputs every 10 seconds. So what we need to do is 2 of those oils go to the factory, 1 goes back to the container. And that'll get us 2 every 30 seconds to the factory. Which means we do need another oil rig if we want to not slowly use up all of our oil in the container. Which that's 2 more robot workers and another power. Not a big deal. Do I have an oil source available? I do not have an oil source available. Okay, where do I get that? Surprisingly not from the black gold pack. Really? Oh, let me guess, it doesn't require an oil resource. What would it be under? Automation? No. Building? Oh, rig. 3 water, 2 electric motor, and educated worker. Okay, well we have 2 electric motors just laying around. 3 water, was it? And 1 educated worker? Robot worker counts as an educated worker. Okay. That is good to know. And that requires 2 robot workers to run an oil rig. Okay, that factory is done. So we could remove the oil container from the loop, and I think we're probably going to. It is kind of cool how you can use the junctions to meter out a container into a factory, but it's not actually important for this. Also, I should start working on building more landmarks. We've got a bunch of them to build. But anyway, I'm probably going to retire this. Okay, let's disconnect all of that. You two power the oil rigs. Robot workers. We don't care about any of that. Okay. We have a free junction we can use somewhere, which will come in handy. We have an oil container. Actually, okay, let's set this oil container up together with this extra factory to just crank out a ton of plastic. We do have an extra power thing there. Oil container. Hook it into... Where's that junction? There it is. Forced robot labor? Yep. Get them bastards working. Okay, that should meter the oil container out into the factory at the right speed. And then the factory can go into the plastic container, and then this line will be removed once the oil container is empty. A group of goblins has entered the city. Oh no. Financial crisis, don't care. Rain. Sure, whatever. Move that over here to the water container. Get a robot to work on it. Goblins can hang out down here by the military area. And we have a free robot worker who can do whatever we want. We also have a factory that's not being used. Okay. We have plenty of factory parts. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of concrete at this factory. Although it's definitely slower to make it this way than to make it just about any other way. Storage is under automation. 2 lumber and metal scrap. Okay. We'll make 2 empty storage containers. I do need more storage containers, so this is just an all-around good idea. Where is my... There it is, up here. No, I'm looking for the lumber over here. Very little is made with lumber in the later parts of the game. Okay. Do I have power available? I mean, yes. but not readily available. What was that? Oops, actually I grabbed a copper ore off something. Whatever, put it back. Alright, we need a splitter, which a splitter is a copper bar, gravel, water, copper bar. Okay, anyway. Transport. Container to factory. Container to factory. I don't care if these meter out too quickly, because it doesn't matter if they're too fast or not. What we want is the interleaving mechanic. So water, then gravel, then water, then gravel, then water, then gravel. Cement, copper, worker. That'll get us the splitter we need. That will just hook up to that power. Okay, landmarks. 3 cement, 3 plastic, 3 electric motor. Okay, the electric motors are purely copper in a factory. So that's no problem. It's 2 factory parts. Okay. Splitter. Power that factory with high voltage. This is going to make for us a bunch of useful material, namely cement. We are once again out of robot workers. Oh no, a human might have to work in a factory. Alright, what was I going to build with this factory? Okay, why am I losing? Because the landfill is too slow. Alright. Well, wait, why is the landfill being used at all? Let's build a second recycling center. The landfill is here strictly to keep up with that. The recycling center isn't quite keeping up with pollution anymore. So we need to build another recycling center. Which is 2 electric motor, 2 iron bar, 2 science. Oh yeah, electric motors. That's why it's going to produce the second factory. Okay. Recycling center. 2 electric motor, 2 iron bar, 2 science. 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 Iron bar. Iron bar. Electric motor. Yeah, the landfills. We gotta get rid of that landfill. Okay, recycling center. Now, the recycling center is going to need power. That'll do. Okay. Now we need 2 people to work there. And it needs to be connected to the sewer. Boom. I'm going to sell this landfill, which we can't. Can I get rid of the damn landfill somehow? For now, we'll hook it to a septic tank. It should prefer to go to the recycling centers, and so it should clear out over time. This is why we kept a septic tank on hand for situations like this, where we just need one. Okay. It looks like this is metering out the oil slightly too fast. Somehow. Alright, cement factory's done. Except I'm not ready to let it be done. Let's get this thing going again. Okay, landfill has been reduced to the point where it's no longer a massive problem. I need to hook up the recycling center to the metal scrap container. Because of course I do. Why do I have a robot worker just laying over there? Oh yes, he was doing... Okay. You get out of that factory. Got a robot to do your job. Okay. That does leave 2 workers in the recycling center, so we need to replace them. Do I have a factory that's not busy? Yes, I do. Okay. I need to build another robot station. 3 factory parts, 2 cement. 2 cement. Stop grabbing the wrong piece. There we go. Put a worker on it for now. We do have electric motors, which is nice. What was I building the electric motors for? Airport? 3 cement, 3 plastic, 3 electric motor. Okay. This probably takes power if I had to guess. But we'll see. Another robot station. Let's put it over here with the rest of the robot stations and hook it up to the high voltage. Boom. That's 40 robot capacity. Okay, landfill's almost done working. I need to get myself another 10 robots worth of supplies. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this the traditional slow way because these gravel containers are, or those containers are busy. And I don't feel like setting up a second one right now. I do need a container for cement at some point. So I should probably go ahead and make some more containers. Let's see, is it lumber and metal scrap? Yes. We're getting invaded again the end of next moon. Boom, there's cement. Rain, sun, and a wildfire. Okay, well the rain will process with a worker. We have 2 robot workers, so we can replace the dudes in the recycling center. There we go. Stick them back on the unemployed nerd pile. We have a free storage container we can use for whatever. Well, that's good. We have cement, we have factory parts. We don't have many factory parts, so we should probably make some more of those. Factory parts is gravel. And metal scraps. We'll make 15 of each. Okay, the airport needs a sewage connection. Which is not good. And it needs power. Okay, what kind of power does it need? It needs 2 low voltage power. Okay. Do I have an energy splitter laying around? No. Alright. I do have a septic tank somewhere. There it is. So we can use that temporarily for the septic. A splitter is a copper bar and a cement. So that's easy enough to make. It provides +2 happiness if it has energy, -2 if it doesn't have energy. Well, it's going to have energy by the end of the day. Okay, calamity. That, unfortunately, is going to throw some timings on things off. Up here, because the water pump was just reset. So that was unfortunate. Now, splitter. Let's go ahead and hook this up to power. Okay. Boom. Oh, wait. It requires 2 high voltage powers. Okay. That is a slightly different matter. We can totally do that. After all, we have power out the ass. But it is a slightly different level than I had originally considered. Actually, we are down to having 1 free high voltage power. Do we need a 3rd nuclear plant? Kind of hope not. Oh, we have a splitter here that wasn't doing anything. Oh, no, wait. That's the splitter I made to work for the airport, and the airport didn't need it. So we'll put it over there so I can have extra splitters available. Okay, I should build another water treatment plant at some point. The art gallery is 3 lumber, a metal scrap, a worker. That's a really early game thing that we should have made a very long time ago. 3 lumber. 2, 3. Metal scrap. And a worker. Okay. Art gallery. +2 happiness first time in city. We can make artworks with 50 money. Remember correctly, this is a very early game way to boost your happiness if you need to. I can't remember what artworks do exactly, but I think they give you more happiness. If they don't give you more happiness, then they give you more money or something. Okay, what else? Cinema. 3 cement, 5 iron bars, and a worker. Okay. 2 and 3. This is probably going to need... Oh, we're out of iron bars. We might need to add more iron mining and smelting. Purely due to how much we're consuming. Do I do have another iron deposit. I would like to get another copper. Well, do I need another copper deposit? We have 32 copper bars. Let's see if we can get another iron deposit on top of what we already have. So we need a major metals pack. That's a lot of factory parts. I thought I had a factory parts container around here. Where did that go? There it is. Iron ore, copper ore, trash, iron deposit. Okay. You sort that trash, please. The copper ore we'll do something with. The iron ore we'll do something with. Actually, let's use up our lightnings on these. Okay, the iron deposits we're going to turn into a pair of iron mines. And then we'll make another industrial smelter. Which is factory part and 2 metal scrap. That's cheap as hell. Man, remember when that stuff was expensive? 2 metal scraps. We are a little low on metal scraps, but they're being produced regularly. So that's not a problem. I do need 1 more iron bar. For whatever we were making with that. Okay, factory parts. I need 2 more factory parts. No, don't grab the storage. Okay, that gets us our iron mine. One and 2. Then we have 2 robot workers to run the smelter. Okay. Happiness has gone up. Where'd the smelter go? Oh, here it is. Still being worked on. Okay, the cinema just needs a worker. Let's get that going. It probably needs high voltage if I had to guess. I do need an energy splitter over here so I can run these. This is assuredly going to produce way more iron than we actually need. But that's fine, we can do that. whenever this idiot finishes his little project here. Okay, there's a smelter. Put 2 robots in it. Hook it up to power. Hook it up to transport. Hook it up to the iron storage. I'm going to move all of our mining operation away. We'll put it down here. Let's get it out of the middle of everything. That'll do. Okay. Let's give it a high voltage line. Boom. We have 22 science stacked up. That's a lot. We're now out of high voltage, which is fine, I suppose. Oh, there's the cinema. Okay. The cinema requires how much power? A high voltage line. Okay, can't say you didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. Let's turn off the laboratory. Okay, and I believe it's just enough to keep that running. Converts 50 money into an artwork. Oh, damn it, I thought that was done. Okay, workers needed. You know what? I'm going to remove the cat from the water treatment plant and put it in the cinema. And then we're going to put a worker in the water treatment plant. So a cat runs the cinema now. Okay. And the septic tank is going to go, and we're going to replace it with another water treatment plant once I build one, which is going to be happening right about now. Water treatment plant. 3 cement and 2 plastic. That's trivial. Where's the cement? There it is. 3 cement, 2 plastic, a worker. Let's remove the workers from the laboratory. It's not powered right now. Let's see. From wind turbines alone, we could get 2 more high voltage lines, which would be a little bit tempting. I don't think you can fake it out to generate more than that. No. Because you can do high voltage, low voltage, low voltage, high voltage, low voltage. But you can't do low voltage, high voltage, high voltage, low voltage. If that makes sense. Okay. Okay, the water treatment plant requires a robot. We've got that on. Oh wait, we already got the robot down there, the guy who's building it. Okay. Transport, we'll hook it to the water container. And then sewer. We'll hook the airport and the cinema to it. That'll work. Okay, what else do we have for landmarks? City Hall we already built, City Park already built, Hospital, 5 cement, 2 plastic, and educated worker. If we need high voltage for that, we'll build high voltage for that. I am going to go ahead and preemptively make a combiner. 2 plastic, and what was it? 5 cement? We're actually running low on cement. Okay. Moon 115, we're going to be attacked. This septic tank is now once again obsolete. We can go back down here with the rest of the buildings that we don't need. Where'd the other septic tank go? Oh, it was over here combined with the landfill. I was hoping we'd get rid of this landfill, but it keeps getting more pollution stuffed in it. I need to pay more attention to it and see if I can wipe it out. No! Stop being filled with pollution. And I can't empty it. Damn it. Okay, well we can at least remove the sewer connection from the landfill and hook it up over here to the water treatment plant. There's no point using the septic tank when we have a water treatment plant with capacity, because the water treatment plant actually gives us stuff if we use it. Gained 4 happiness this move. Well, that's nice. There's a hospital. The hospital requires power. How much does it need? A high voltage line. Of course it needs a high voltage line. Why wouldn't it? Okay, sewer. It's got 2 sewer connections, which means actually we do need to go get the septic back. Because that is how much sewage capacity we had available on... Stop it, Taylor. There we go. That is how much sewage capacity we had available on the new water treatment plant. Okay, how many people do you need? 2. Alright. Let's grab 2 robot workers. And then for power, let's grab this new energy combiner we built. Because hospitals don't need to be particularly high availability, we're going to run them on wind turbines. Okay. It gives +4 if it's in the city for the first time. -1 if no energy, -1 if no workers. Okay, so the hospital is totally worthless. It gives you a one-time boost of +4, and then it's just there from then on. Okay. At this point, we are no longer going to be building any more landmarks for a bit, because we need more power. Which is not something I thought I would ever say. We've been spending our power quite frivolously. But anyway, do I have another uranium mine? I do have a uranium deposit. Okay, that is very good. We'll grab the uranium deposit. We'll grab a factory part. I need more robot workers. I don't have more robot workers, so we're going to be once again running part of the system purely on human power. I suppose that's fine. Okay, we should make more cement though. So the gravel container you go. You can fill the water container. Put the cement thing over there. Okay. Let's harvest a robot worker out of that. That gets us 4 robot workers who are available to grab. We're going to need 1 more. Maybe we should employ humans at the hospital. It's not like they're doing anything else useful. Just like we have a cat employed at the cinema, the hospital will employ actual humans. And that gets us enough robot workers. Yeah. Alright, anyway. We're gonna need more uranium for the nuclear power plant. We'll use a wind turbine to run the mine. No, we'll use a solar panel, because we do have a solar panel here. Except, it's busy powering... Okay, here. Energy. Boom, boom. Wind turbine. Wind turbine. There we go. We have a solar panel to power more nuke plant. The gravel pit's gonna have to go. Let's go ahead and stack this stuff a little bit tighter. We don't have room to feed this in anymore. I might have to use like a junction or something if I want to feed more into the gravel container. But that is a thing we could do if we ever had to get even more high voltage. I don't foresee that as something that needs to be done just right away, though. Okay. Please tell me I can sell this stupid landfill soon. Probably not, but we'll keep an eye on it. It definitely received more pollution from that batch. Damn it. Okay, I didn't actually see what happened to the artwork, which means it probably got turned into happiness, disappeared. Alright, well. Okay, we have an extra oil here. I'm going to go ahead and sell it. That does mean this factory is no longer... That oil container is free. This factory is no longer producing plastic. Which means we can unhook it from that splitter. Bring it over here and hook it to this splitter. We have a free junction and storage container, which is good. We can use those for other things later. Okay, uranium mine. 2 workers. Oh, I need another... junction. Actually, I don't need another junction. What am I doing? What am I doing? These have 3 inputs. I just need a standard junction, which I have over here. And then we can do this. Just move these things around a little bit. Okay, and then the gravel pit can still be connected to the gravel container, because why not? Okay, we will be producing a little bit of extra uranium for now, but that's fine, because we need extra uranium so that we can build the new reactor. Okay. Now, what do I need for the reactor? 3 iron bars, 3 science. A rumor is spreading around the city. Okay. Educating an educated worker while having a city well-being of 50 will create a genius. Well, that's nice. We'll just leave that over there. If I ever decide to create a genius, then we might mess around with that. But for now, not something I'm terribly concerned with. Okay, we need 1 more uranium so we can build this. Please, can I get rid of the landfill sometime yesterday? No. That's okay, I guess. Alright. 1 more uranium. That'll make another nuclear reactor that we can add over here to this pile. Okay, we need this uranium to jumpstart the next reactor. Not that we actually need to do, but anyway. We can use it for that. Why is there a metal scrap just laying over here? I don't know. It must have made sense at the time. Let's put it in the metal scrap container, wherever that is. There. Apparently a grain missed the mark at some point. Sure, whatever. Yeah, we don't even need this stupid landfill. It just will not... Can't get rid of it. Oh well. Goblin conflict. Rain and an earthquake. Okay, well the goblins can go down here and get their asses kicked, hopefully. And then... the earthquake we will deal with whenever it happens. The rain we can process over here by the water. It's like this has 5 pollution, or 2 pollution in it. In 60 seconds, it'll remove 5. Oh, wait, now it has 8, because it just received another delivery. Stuff it. Please. Go to the, recycling centers. there somewhere I can put this where it's definitely the farthest away from everything? Let's jam it way up in the corner. It's definitely the farthest away from any pollution-producing thing. Hopefully that means it won't actually go there, but I know better than that. It goes to whichever one is the emptiest, I think. Which is why it keeps refilling. We'd likely have to build multiple recycling centers to get it to not go to the landfill. Even though we have plenty of capacity right now. Okay, anyway, we do have a nuclear power plant. Let's give it a bit of uranium. Hook it into the system. Let's grab the extra uranium we just have laying around and sell it. Okay. Now we have more energy. Specifically, a lot more energy. Actually, I'm going to move this down because it's going to be really hard to visually parse if I don't. Alright, I need 5 more splitters. Splitters are cement. And copper. Okay, I might do some rearranging here to compact this a little, because it's right now it's way too big. It's nice and readable. Okay, you know what, actually. Let's take 500 money. And let's buy ourselves a little more space. Actually, that didn't give us much more space at all. And now, of course, we're going to have to move everything. I have mild regrets already. Not very strong ones, but... Okay, let me think. Uranium mines, jam them up in the corner. Nope, actually I don't want to quite jam them up in the corner because I'm going to make use of some of this extra space we have available, so I can put the solar panels behind them. Make it look a little better. It all runs into the junction. That runs into another junction. Gravel container. Gravel pit, just in case you ever want to assign someone to it. Nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant. And other different nuclear power plant. Alright. Earthquake. Can be repaired with money. That's nice. Hopefully we have enough on hand to just repair everything without having to sell anything or worry about it. Okay, what do we have? 10, 20. Where'd that money I just had go? I do like that there are a visual mode that you can see what's damaged. But also it's hard to tell which cards are what if you're trying to actually do anything in this mode. Okay, that should be good. Let's go ahead and carefully line all our stuff up here. We want the combiners to be as close together as we can. And then the splitters lined up right behind them. Like so. Okay. This will get us a little more space, which may or may not, probably may not, get us a enough space to actually fit another whole nuclear power plant stacked down underneath this. Okay, are the splitters available yet? No, they're only half made because I paused during most of that. I think I can fit another stack, and also the stack now leans back, which I... Damn it. Goblin warplane, Goblin warship. Okay. We're gonna have to start building better troops. Maybe not yet. Yeah, we are. Okay, what do we got military-wise? Attack helicopters, electric motor. We don't have many of those. Fighter jets are also electric motors. What's the highest level, combat level thing we have? It looks like attack helicopter is the best thing we can make. 3 plastic, 3 electric motor. Okay. We'll make some electric motors real quick. I do have multiple factories that can be rest into service. And I do have an empty storage container we can use. Not actually worried about losing this fight. We'll be fine on this fight. Okay. Power. The first splitter. Goes here. Boom. Nuclear power plant goes right across from it, more or less. And then we just keep working our combiners on down from there. I do want to straighten this up because I don't like how it's leaning back. It bows a little tiny bit right there, but it's hardly noticeable compared to what it was. Okay. Now. These wind turbines can go to the great wind turbine pasture in the sky. Now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more combiners. And we are not out of cement. Okay, for a second there I thought we were. Okay. And then combiners are the cheap ones that only require metal scrap. Okay. Put the electric motors in the thing. I'm gonna pull you back if I can. I can't. Well, we're probably gonna lose that soldier then. Yep. That's fine, we have too many of them. We're about ready to upgrade our troops. Oh, that's a splitter that stays there. Okay, combiner. More combiners. The amount of high voltage we're going to have here is actually insane. Okay, you connect to those two. You connect to that one. Let's go ahead and connect up all these splitters before I forget, so I don't have to worry about it later. There we go. And for the first time ever, we're actually not going to have to add any auxiliary power into this, I don't think. We're one combiner short, but that was known ahead of time. Okay, now we can... Oh wait. What am I doing? There's a combiner we can use right here. Oh well, having an extra is not a bad thing. Power our industry off of those two. And then you... power that. It's a lot of energy. Okay. Attack helicopter. 3 electric motor, 3 plastic. $240 seconds. Okay, well that is a thing that is happening, I suppose. We are losing troops pretty quickly. Barracks. 2 cement, iron bar. That's pretty cheap. We'll make a second one of those so we can produce more troops. I need to make more cement soon. Yeah. We might take out the Goblin warship. Probably not, though. There's the new barracks. We'll produce another troop because it's cheap and fast. And we can use that to slow these idiots down. Are they not moving? Okay, well screw that then. We'll just wait the 240 seconds for the attack chopper. And we'll start a second attack chopper on the way. Okay. Lovely. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted, we were finishing off our power. That's done now, though. I still can't get over just how huge our power supply is. I thought it was huge before when we had 2 nuclear reactors going. Now we got 3. And not only is it 3 nuclear reactors, it's 3 exploit-driven nuclear reactors. So each one is producing 7 high voltage. And we're using most of that. Also, let's get 3 guys into the laboratory so we can just keep them busy. We had robots in the laboratory earlier, but meh. There's no point having a bunch of workers sitting around with a thump their ass. Okay. Also, all our wind turbines that we built over time here are just sitting down doing nothing. That's another 2 and a bit high voltage lines worth. Okay. Now, we can get back to building more landmarks if we want to. City Hall, City Park, Hospital is the last one we built. Stadium, 5 cement, 3 iron bar, 3 worker. Okay, we don't have enough cement. Why am I still in energy mode? Let's make a ton of cement, because we're going to need a bunch of it. It's used for a lot of shit. Yes, I know I'm losing happiness at a rate of 4 a day because I don't have these dead yet. How long is a moon? I thought it was like... Okay, 120 seconds. So it takes 2 full days to build a tactical helicopter. That's fine, we can do that. We're never getting rid of this damn landfill. It's never happening. Oh well. Our sewer is all filled up. So if the stadium needs sewage, it's going to have to be hooked to hooked to septic tanks, which we have some. That's fine. Okay, 5 cement, 3 iron bar. Where's the iron bar? Down here. 1, 2, 3. Cement we have on hand. Was it 3 workers? Yes. That's good. We have those around. Build a stadium. I wish I could just sell the damn thing and it would kick the pollution out and then I would have to deal with it. But no, it doesn't let you. You just... And there's no way that I can tell to remove the pollution from it. It's just, you're stuck with it. Okay, stadium. Does indeed have sewer needs. It needs 2 hookups. Which means we'll give it a septic tank temporarily. It needs 2 workers. So we'll put 2 educated workers in it. That's been the policy so far, is that humans work on all the landmarks. And it needs power. How much power? Not actually very much. 2 normal voltage. Okay. Do I have a splitter laying around somewhere? I do not. Okay. Give me a cement. Give me a copper. Boom. We'll make a splitter, then we'll hook that up to the high voltage. I am going to move the lab down to here. Attack helicopter, yay! Kick their asses, attack helicopter. Okay, a relatively even battle for once. Now. A new splitter's been made. And that will be connected to this high voltage. Lovely. After the stadium theme park, which is 2 electric motors, 2 toys, and 2 workers. We don't have toys. We can make toys. I believe they're just plastic in a factory. Yeah. Okay. How fast are they being made? Got a factory here. Let's swap it over to this grid. That is a 90-second thing. Ooh. That's going to be really tricky to automate. Well, not really. Yeah, kind of. We're going to need 2 junctions, I think. Junctions are cement and gravel. Okay. Attack helicopter's kicking its ass. I need to get another attack helicopter going. Let's grab more copper. Get that going in this factory, turn into more motors. Okay. Now, I've got a junction. Okay, so what we're going to do here, the first junction, this is going to be a 1 every 30-second junction. And actually, I think we're going to need another junction beyond what I had originally counted for. All right. Well, we can do that. Because there's not enough inputs on the plastic container to make this work. We got a free trash out of the deal. Not that we really need free trash. Okay. So this junction will pass through 1 and return 2 once I get the third junction, which we're going to get here in a second. Well, 5 seconds to be exact. Okay, so this is the return junction. 2 go back to the return junction. And this will be the one that's plumbed into the plastic container. And then, so that will be, okay, for every one that goes in, which will happen once every 10 seconds, one will come out here. Now, this is going to be, we'll have stuff coming out here every 30 seconds. So, this will come out every 60, and we are once again not having enough return. Okay, no, it'll work actually. You hook to that junction. You hook to the factory. You return to the plastic storage. And you also return to the plastic storage. Okay. Let me look at this for a second. Plastic container to junction. I want this one to advance and these two to go back, because earlier experimentation indicated to me that the bottom output is the one it prefers to go to first. Actually, this is wrong. The reason it's wrong is because we have to output 2 every 90 seconds. So this should work. It's going to be exceedingly slow, but that's fine. I don't think we want to produce a ton of toys. Okay, so the first one is output. The next one, the next 2 should recirculate. Then the next one after that should output. Then the next 3 should recirculate. Or the next 2 will recirculate. Then the next one will recirculate. Then the next 2 will recirculate. Alright, then the next one out. No. Okay. It outputs 1. It recirculates 2. It outputs 1. It recirculates 5. Then it outputs 1. Then it recirculates 2. And so on. Anyway, we have a toy. +1 happiness at the end of the moon. Okay, I'm going to be very annoyed if we lose all of them damn things when I'm trying to build a theme park. Yeah. We're going to have to produce some of those manually with our own little factory. Oh, let's clean that trash up. Almost forgot about that. Hopefully it's preserved if it's in a container. Yeah, see, it does a little bounce around dance there. Metal scrap goes in the metal scrap container. See, it recirculated 2. I think it's in the middle of the process of recirculating 5 right now. There's 3. Anyway, long story short, we should get a toy every 90 seconds. Wind, sunshine, and a frickin' earthquake. Okay, the wind goes down here on the wind pile that we're never going to use. The sunshine can just turn into happiness. It did indeed not consume the toy because it was in the toy container. Which means let's plumb that up so we can get a pile of toys. So we have happiness on demand. Earthquake, we'll just stuff it down there. Attack helicopters. I would really like to make more electric motors, but that's not going to happen right now. Well, maybe it will. Let's make more attack helicopters. You guys need housing. Uh-oh. Okay, we have plenty of housing available. Because we lost all of our troops, that's right. This guy's damaged. Is there any way to heal him? Because that'd be a lot cheaper than having to build a new one. Probably not, if I had to guess. There's a filter junction we can use for something later. How much copper do I have? Also, the shrimp light turned off, so we should wrap this up. I want to build the theme park. I need 2 electric motors for that. I need more electric motors in general. Alright. How much food do we have right now? 140. Okay, nothing terribly important was damaged. Repair the factory, please. There we go. Well, that's deeply unfortunate. We had to... It stopped right at the very end of its cycle, and so now we had 2 extra oil that was never going to go away. Oh, missed a spot. And that's why we use the calamity view. Okay. Theme park. 2 electric motors, 2 toys, 2 workers. We've got 1 electric motor. We're about to have 2 toys. We have a worker. I'm just going to grab some from the laboratory because we don't need more science. We have enough science to end the game several times over. Okay, do I actually need this recirculator? Yes I do. Because we're 1 short of the required number of inputs on this container. Okay. Theme park, 2 electric motors, boom, 1, 2. 2 toys, 1, 2. 2 workers. 45 seconds. And then we'll see what all we need to hook up to get that tied into the system. We might need to build another water treatment plant or something like that. We can probably just use this septic tank if we have to. I'm just gonna goblins, screw you. Well, that's why we're making attack helicopters. We're gonna have 3 of them available for this fight. With more on the way. Okay, septic tank is available if we need it for the theme park. Theme park does not need it. It gives us +1 happiness if it has energy. And it does use high voltage. Okay. That is fine. We have plenty of high voltage. Okay. Theme park's taken care of. What else do we even have? We have the toy shop, which I believe needs to be supplied with toys, but like maybe not all the time. 3 copper bars and a worker for villager statue. We'll do that real quick actually before we leave. No, we don't have the copper bars, so we won't do that. Alright, well we got most of the landmarks in the city, actually, which takes a surprising amount of electricity so far. The zoo is just a matter of getting some grain gathered up instead of using it all to make food that we don't even need. Or we don't need that much anyway. The villager statue is just a matter of grabbing some copper bars as soon as we have some available. And the toy shop is a matter of waiting for 180 some seconds to have enough toys to make it. Because this one's about ready to produce, so it'd be actually 190 some seconds. Alright. Well, let's wait for the goblins. We'll kick their asses and then I'll call it for the night. I think. Oh no, they brought a goblin chopper. And 2 goblin warships. We're kicking their asses, so it's not a problem. Although we are going to have to put a lot of our copper going forward into building more attack helicopters. Although to be perfectly honest, I don't know if we're going to play this anymore. We've done most of what I wanted to accomplish. I guess we could finish the game and go back to the main base game. Not tonight, obviously, but I suppose we'll see how I'm feeling next week. Yeah. Got their asses kicked. Alright. Let's go ahead and save our game. All right. Tomorrow is Thursday. And I believe the plan for that is either XCOM Enemy Within, aka Newcom 1, which isn't so new anymore, or Far Cry 2. However, I have not gotten around to get anything done to get Far Cry 2 running. And I know it needs work. So if I don't get around to getting anything done, we're definitely playing XCOM, because I'm quite sure that will work. If for some bizarre reason XCOM doesn't run, and I don't get around to getting Far Cry running either, then I don't know, we'll pick something. But I don't think I'll have to worry about that. Friday should be EDF. I haven't heard anything otherwise. And Saturday and Sunday is going to be Valheim. Monday, of course, will be Crab Champions. And then next week for Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't know. We might play Stacklands for one of those days. And we might not. Like I said, it'll depend entirely on if I'm feeling Stacklandy when we get there. Or we might just, do something completely different. Depending on if I have something completely different in mind. For tonight, though, let's see. Is there anyone doing anything on the old follow list tonight? It doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, I don't think we're ready anyway then. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow. for whatever shenanigans ensue. And I will see you all later. Good night. And goodbye.